Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we're going to be taking on EX2 of the new Beatdown Battle to get the final dupe of GOBTA before it switches over to Inferno 1. So this stage has 3 enemies who all do a bunch of things, but they have 158k HP, so it's not insurmountable, because once you hit Inferno 1, that 158 magically becomes 545. So that's quite a jump in stats right there. So EX2, I think, is doable for a lot of people. 158k is not a lot, but you do have to do it within about 5 turns before they really start to hit hard. So first off, we're going to be using the Tempest Elite quote-unquote team as it exists right now. Trainee, GOBTA, Shuna, Water Shuna, Space Rimuru, who is skill fused, and then Octogram Lumi, because she is free to play, right? So new, free, old, very old as can be actually, and then pretty old still, and also free to play. So, and then we'll use a number of other units. We'll use the Overlord team and see if that can do it. I think it can. And then we'll try a few others along the way. But this will be our first run, so let's see how it goes. Okay, turn 1. I'm going to go with the patented GOBTA orb change, and then we'll bring in Shizu, and then we'll also... we don't have to bring in Lumi, because we're going to have a whole hand of blues. I mean, we're going to get a lot of protection gauge, but we might as well, just for funsies, I guess. And we'll go ahead and send this. And we're going to pray that a few stacks of Lumi can give us that nice damage buff. Are you kidding me right now? Do it again, I dare you. Do it again. You got one more in you? Yeah, they lose a lot of health very quickly. So I do not think that this is going to be the difficult stage. Right? They don't do a lot to start out with. They don't have a lot of HP. I think people should be relatively safe. So let's get a stack of Lumi in here, and then let's bring Rimuru back up front. We'll use the entire orb change right here with Shuna, and then we'll bring GOBTA in, just for his alt swap ability next turn. And then we'll bring Trainee in, or we'll not bring Trainee, but we'll use Trainee to then give Shuna the alt gauge, and yeah, let's do it twice. Let's get her the EX alt. That's fine. Alright. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this will do a lot of damage to Milim. Just because of, type advantage, the weak point, and the follow-up orbs that are going to be coming in. And we're going to do, like, probably half her HP, somewhere close to that. Unless she guards it all. Alright, well. Yeah, we still did over half. Alright, cool. There we go. So we got the EX alt, and we should have enough points to use the alt buff and the attack buff, and we've got 1 stack of Lumi already, so let's see if this is enough power to actually get the job done, just straight up. Oh, right, we have to use the Pierce buff still. Alright, well, let's do that first. And... ooh, what a terrible hand. What a terrible, terrible hand. Alright, well... we'll do it next turn. We'll send these 5 oranges. Alright, and okay, now we have enough points, because we'll have another 30 coming in. And the next turn, we will use everything. And I think it should be enough. Boom. Boom. Rimuru is space, so he does have type disadvantage here. Not the greatest thing in the world, but you see, they're not doing that much damage to us after everything's said and done. So now let's bring you back in for Lumi. And then we can use both the buffs, so 1, 2, and we'll see if this is enough to take out everybody just in one fell swoop. And if it is, then great. And depending on how much damage we actually do, you might not even need Rimuru to be skill fused, because remember, he is putting that extra 30% alt resistance down. So as long as we can do, like, I'd say 170, I think you'll be safe in not having him skill fused and still be able to wipe. Plus, we have the follow-up orbs. So here we do... plenty of damage. Okay, 227. So yeah, if your Rimuru is not skill fused, don't worry about it. Just, you need 1 stack of Lumi, the Pierce buff, the alt buff, and the attack buff. That's it, and you can very easily clear. Because even if the nuke didn't kill, they would have been very, very close, and the follow-up orb, which would have been an AoE as well, would have taken them out. So, alright, they're safe in knowing that. At least EX2 isn't very difficult. Let's do a few other teams. Alright, next up is the previous meta, Overlord team. They don't have a lot of health, green orbs are not nerfed in this stage, and by starting out with 4 blues turn 1, if you have the big 3, you can get a stack of Rimuru on turn 2. So without having to spend any skills, so then we just need a little bit of orb RNG to get a good Nabe hand, and then I think we can get the ball rolling. So in theory, this team should be able to do it. You know, Ainz does a lot of damage. It's just that we can't crit here, so we can't really use his skill. We can certainly stun strike. None of us are weak point, so the weakness buff from Shizu doesn't matter. The ult resistance down would, so we're really going to bank on the ult buff and the defense down from Shoutir more than anything else. Alright, so turn 1, we've got the 4 blues, and this is enough to get us the first, amount of protection gauge. Let's go ahead and bring in Shizu for Nabe, and we'll bring in Ainz for Albedo. And now, one thing that we have to keep in mind that I forgot about on the first time recording this is that we get sealed on turn 4, our 80-point skills, on the front line. So, if we want to use Shoutir to nuke and Shizu to assist with the nuke, both of them have to be in the back on turn 4, going into turn 5. Otherwise, they will get sealed, and that's not a great time. So we have to leave Ainz, Nabe, and Albedo up front for that turn. And that is a pretty good look right there. All right, so let's go ahead and bring Nabe back in for Ainz. We're not going to be able to use his Despair to get extra protection gauge, but we can at least get a full hand of greens and get us points back after using this stack of Rimuru. So I think this team can do it with the ult buff at least. The stun strike only stuns 1 enemy, which is kind of unfortunate, but it will definitely guarantee that enemy will die on the nuke. And if we can get the EX ult with Shoutir, then I think we'll be fine. So, even if we are magic, we're doing a lot of damage. That's not a great hand right there, though. 3 oranges is something that we cannot deal with. So, in fact, I'd rather probably, instead of bringing Albedo, I would probably rather bring another orb changer, to be perfectly honest with you. We have a limited amount of turns to do this. Alright. We'll be right back, hold on. Okay, so we're back. I made a difficult decision. I took out Albedo for Trya, because I need another goddamn orb changer on this friggin' team. Oh my god, this team irritates me, even when it's not their meta. We replaced a useless unit with a unit that should have been on the team in some fashion for their orb change, Shoutir. It is what it is. We've used a whole bunch of skills so far on turn 3. The 2 stacks of Despair, both orb changes for Trya. We have 1 more orange, and if we didn't have... Nabe. And if we didn't have Trya, we would have been stuck in a rut. Thankfully, we brought her, though. So she can go away, and we can bring Shizu in on turn 4. But also, remember that turn 4, we cannot have Shizu or Shoutir up front, because we need them to not be sealed. And it looks like we're not going to get the EX ult for Shoutir. But hopefully, since we're going to have access to the 2 big-time buffs, that will still be enough to take them out. Alright. So here we will do a few things. We will apply some more Despair. We will alt swap so that one stays green. And then... I believe you're all set. Yeah, so we'll do 1 stack on you guys, reset those skills, and then both are coming out. Ainz being sealed does not matter. We don't want to crit here anyways, and we're not going to nuke with him, so his skill is irrelevant. So it can be sealed for all I care. But what I do need is I do need a full hand of greens, which we can do here. Yes, because Trya only has 1 orb, and it's already green. Perfect. Almost made a mistake there. So boom. We'll change those oranges, and we'll send this on Trya. And now we've got... no, we're going to be short a little bit because no one gets protection gauge on turn 5. Okay. But I think we will have enough damage here now to fully wipe this team with, another stack of Rimuru. There's the 80-point skill seal, but it only applies to the frontline units, so Shizu and Shoutir are safe in the back. And we even have an Ainz ult, so I mean he can get some follow-up too. So we'll bring Shoutir in for Triya since she has the most orbs. And then let's go ahead and... Shizu doesn't have an ult, so that doesn't really matter. We can actually do this now. Reset those orb changes, use them again. Yeah. Boom, boom. Perfect. Perfect. Nabe will come out for Shizu. And then we'll use both of the big time skills. Boom, boom. And we have enough for one more stack of Despair. Perfect. And now, hopefully, this is enough to kill. And if not, then we'll have a little bit of follow-up. So we'll send this ult first, send Ainz second, and then we'll follow up. And Shoutir does 85,000 damage. Well, that's unfortunate. 135 for Ainz. Alright. Oh. Wow. Alright, Rong is dead. That's good. So it's just Milim. She doesn't have a lot of health. She doesn't do a lot of damage. So even though we didn't kill her, we are still probably going to win just through strength of the team after the nuke. Because, yeah, we can just do this. So we'll bring Triya in for... We got 270 points. Do it again. Do it again. Same buffs. And then we'll bring Triya in for Shizu. And we'll do this stack. We'll reset that orb change. We'll give actually you a few extra stacks, so now you'll definitely do enough power. We'll bring Nabe back in. And then we will use another stack of Despair. And another stack of Rimuru. So there we go. Overlord team can do it. Maybe not on turn 4. But you shouldn't be too afraid. As long as your big time buffers aren't sealed. 100k. Alright. There we go. Then you'll be fine. And the Overlord team can do it. Even without Albedo. Shoutir, like if you want to do it with Ainz, you're going to have to do it like onesie twosies. You're going to get like an ult with Ainz and Shizu or something like that. And you'll just have to nuke 2 of them and then leave the last one. You can certainly do that. It'll just take a little bit longer. But, alright. Overlord team done. Let's move on. Alright, next is going to be the Summer Memories unit led by the old trainee. So, trainee is giving us 40 skill points, lowering the defense of the enemies, and making sure that the future hand is all blues. We're going to be nuking with both Dark Milim and, more importantly, Summer Lumi. Getting some action again after the Jubilee stage where she was useful. So we're going to see if, by their AoE powers combined, we can do it. Hinata is going to steal some orbs for us. We cannot use her crit skill, though. So we're going to have the self-buffs from Milim. We'll have the Weakness Strike, which will only affect Lumi. And then we'll have Lumi's ult buff alongside the defense down. And we'll see if this can do it, which I think it can. Alright, so we brought Summer Rimuru from the previous Summer meta. Not this one, but the one before that in 2022. But he will take care of the turn 1 orb change. And then we will get Hinata out of here. That way we can steal some orbs and give them to Lumi next turn. So, and then we can actually send Summer Shizu last, because she is type advantage. She's super weak point, fire physical. So this will do okay damage. Yeah, pretty good damage actually. And then hopefully we have 3 orbs for somebody. Okay, that's not what I was going for, but thanks. Yeah. Sure. It does work, technically, so let's change those. Boom. And then we're left with some oranges, which unfortunately we can't do anything about. But we can then bring Hinata in for Water Rimuru, and then steal everything. Boom. And now we can also use Trainee that guarantee the next hand is full blues. So Hinata comes out, Lumi comes in, Trainee comes in, gives us 40 skill points, which we don't need to use anything right here. But I do have the alt gauge on Blue Charm, so that will at least help a little bit. Summer Lumi, also fire physical, will be super effective, and we have an alt for her. And I think that's all we need. So I think if we can ult with her and we can ult with Milim, I think their powers combined will be enough damage. But we can then just do this instead. So we have the alt swap ability with Summer Shizu. Go ahead and use that now. We'll put the charm on somebody, and that'll give us an extra 15% alt gauge at the end of the turn, and I think that will get us very close. Well, not close enough, apparently. Alright, yeah, that's about all I can use. Alright, Trainee again. Make sure that the entire next hand is also blues, and then we'll send all this on Ranga. And I think, yeah, we'll be looking pretty good. There's a double stack, so there's 80 points plus the 100. And we have the extra blue damage as well, which is really cutting into their health. Wow. Alright, we actually don't need to have 2 ults then. I think we would be pretty safe doing this, because we'll get the EX ult for Lumi this turn, and then we'll just go ahead and wipe it. So we'll put the charm on you as well, just for funsy onesies, I guess. The blue damage is still here. We can alt swap again, and then this will get us the EX ult for Lumi, and then we'll have plenty of points to use the other buffs. And we have no one that has a 50 or an 80-point buff here, so no one is in danger of getting sealed on this turn. So we'll go ahead and spread this damage out, actually, because I don't want you to die. Because I do want a full power nuke. Alright, cool. Finally, Summer Lumi gets a usage. Alright, and yeah, we'll triple ult there. Looking pretty good. Alright, there's the seal. Again, does not matter, though. And how much are we up to on Lumi's alt buff? It's dependent on how many times we use the Protector. We're at 80, so if we use this twice, so now we'll be fully capped out on the 100% alt buff, plus the dark resistance down and the fire resistance down, plus the weakness strike that Shizu will give, although I'm using this incorrectly. I don't know why I just did that. I just nerfed myself out of points. Doesn't really matter. We'll be fine. We've got the 2 ults. I think Lumi is going to just murder right here anyways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And yeah, there we go. 95k. Giant misplay. Didn't matter. Summer Lumi took care of it. And we had the 2 ults to follow up and the other 3 orbs. So there we go. Old Summer team, burst blue, physical based, has a fire physical nuker. It can definitely clear EX2. I don't know about EX. I don't know about Inferno. But that's a video for a different time. Couple more teams. Alright, next up, everybody's favorite team, the Vengeance team, or at least Raphael and Yom and Belzard. No Shuna, no Veldora, they're wonky, they're weird. We brought orb changers. Traya, Yom, Isis, Aaron. Every orb color covered, plus some. And we're just going to run off 2 stacks of Vengeance plus whatever they do, because they do attack us a lot, and they're AoE ult, or they have AoE ults, which will definitely get a lot of stacks on turn 5. We just have to live, which I think we can, on EX2 at least. Alright, so turn 1, we're just going to send these blues. I don't really care about them, but it does get us a stack of Belzard, so that's better than anything. Gives us 50 points, so we can orb change hopefully next turn pretty easily. Perfect. We can make that work. Actually, I think we can just use Traya and not touch anything else. Yeah. Okay. So Traya will come in for Aaron. Boom. She'll convert these herself, and then she can convert those too. So boom, boom. So changed, perfect. And now we can bring in Raphael, and now we'll be looking pretty good. We'll apply the Vengeance, counter attacks here, and now every time they hit us, they will get a stack. And this is pretty much what's going to happen. We're not going to do a lot of traditional damage here, and we do have a space unit up front, which isn't the greatest, but again, it's only EX2, you can get away with that. Yeah, 1 damage right there, we're looking pretty good. On the higher difficulties, Raphael's not going to have, he's not going to be up front a lot. That's a decent hand, we can work with that. Okay, Isis is taking a lot more damage, and she's also getting hit a lot, but that's 8 stacks. 8 stacks of Vengeance in 1 turn. That is nothing to scoff at right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring Trya in for... actually, they attack us so much, I don't even really need to use too much here. Let's get a stack of the Isis green buff. Let's get the orb change with Trya, because it's been reset. And then we'll get the orb change with Aaron. And then that'll give us the full hand. And then we can put the guard up. Or... yeah, the guard. Actually, do we seal them instead? What do they have right now? They've got... Pierce. Pierce, Pierce, Pierce. Let's go ahead and, yeah, let's just seal them. Let's get the resistance up and let's seal their Pierce. That way they don't do too much. We'll go ahead and reapply Vengeance because we're going to get it back now that we have that big-time Isis buff on. And we'll be looking really good now. And we should take 1 damage across the board now. Yep, 1 right there. Awesome. And now they're going to do a bunch of other attacks. And they're going to get like another 5 to 6 stacks of Vengeance. So there's 3, 6, and 9. Do I hear 9? I hear 9. 9 stacks in 1 turn. Impressive. Most impressive. Actually, yeah. Okay. We got 2 ults. Doesn't really matter all that much. Aaron can come out of here for Trya. And then we can change that. So yeah, here you could use the Overlord Shizu if you pulled her and put her on this team. That way you could always be able to swap out alts and you would just eternally have full 6 hands of greens across the board. And the only time you'd have to swap Shizu out is if you want to use like the Isis buff or something. But here, we'll buff, we'll seal again, just for funsies onesies, I guess. So, Vengeance doesn't kick in until turn 5, the end of turn 5. So, we got 1 more turn to build up some stacks. We're up to 24 already. And then we'll send these. Okay, so we don't get the stack of Velzard here. Unfortunate, but it's okay, because Velzard does last for 3 turns. And as long as we can send greens next turn, we'll be okay. Alright, so... are they going to give me another 9 stacks here? Or are they going to be single attacks? Okay, 1, 2, 3... 4, 5... Alright, so we're up to 29 stacks already. This is turn 5, so anything that happens here is free game. Go ahead and bring Trya in again. Are the greens still buffed by Isis? 1 more turn? Yeah, okay. So yeah, Trya comes in, and we'll do a special convert here. Boom. We'll bring Aaron back in, who already has the Vengeance on. Use her orb change. And then we'll put 2 more stacks on. And they're still sealed. We still have the element buff, so we'll be pretty protected from these ults right here. And that's a guaranteed 9 more stacks right there. So we're going to be looking real nice. Alright, so yeah, your damage doesn't matter. Oh no, you hit a synergy. Oh no, what would we do without that extra, like, 2,000 damage that we lost because of our debuff? Alright, so here's an AoE. Boom, that's 3 stacks, 1 damage. Love to see it. Another AoE, 1 damage. And a follow-up attack, so okay. We're going to get 10 stacks here. And another AoE. 45 stacks of Vengeance. Dead. 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 Vengeance is kinda good. Vengeance is kinda good. Who'da thunk? Alright. Well, I think we'll cut it off for that team. There are more teams that can do it. I will do a part 2 of this video just for more options. The idols will be in that video because they can. If Vengeance can do it, they can certainly do it. But we'll have a few other teams that are blue focused maybe that can maybe take on the stage. But that's it for me, guys. This is the first part. Hopefully these teams gave you an idea. Overlord, most people are going to have maybe if they summon, but yeah, give or take. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.